What's going on, people? 2K will for sure make cap breakers on NBA 2K26 how they originally wanted them on 25. Which means that if your build cap is, for example, 95 three-pointer, then the cap breakers will actually let you break the 95 cap and go higher than that. Remember my last video when I was talking about how can they make cap breakers new? I sat back and I was thinking what's a way to make them new? We already have them, you know what I mean? We're already breaking our caps. Then I realized this year they made us lower some of our existing stats when we're already in the builder to later on get our cap breakers, making us weak within a different sense and not really like how we probably truly wanted cap breakers. I know how I wanted cap breakers is if I made a build and he had, I balanced him out. Then I kind of wanted to make sure he had some higher ball handling or get his ball handling a little bit higher with my cap breakers so I can move a little bit more with my Kevin Durant build. That's what I'm going to want, to put it towards my ball handling. You know what I mean? So he could really be like KD. That's how I'm really trying to get him, right? You know what I mean? So I want y'all to listen to this clip, man. Listen to what they talking about. I'm kind of coming right here.
So you will not have to do that anymore. You will be able to see the body types before you are done with your build. Today, we can confirm that cap breakers will be back in 2K26, and there will also be other new ways to improve your builds and earn those cap breakers that we're going to talk about soon. The other thing that I saw a lot of positive feedback on this year was the Takeover System, where you have 5 levels that heat up automatically, you don't need to activate it manually, and then a takeover ability at level 5. That system at its core is back, but it is more in depth now. So there are some new mechanics, and the progression is also streamlined. So unlocking takeovers and the pure amount of takeovers and special abilities or takeover abilities, that is not going to be as intimidating anymore in 2K26. So we're going to talk about takeover and cap breakers soon, but for now, they are back and they are much improved. Yeah, so build diversity.
So I stop it right there. They're back and they are much improved. People, you have to sit back and think, how can they even make cap breakers more rewarding? How? Think about it. What they gonna say? Oh, you can go and get 2 or 3 cap breakers if you go play my careers. Come on. I mean, they could probably have some. Oh, maybe you play my career, you get a cap breaker or something like that. Finish my career, something. But it's not gonna be something new if they make us get cap breakers the same exact way, where we have to lower our build stats and say, oh, we're gonna get our cap breakers later or use it to bring my 3-pointer up higher later. No. I feel like what they're going to do now is we're going to get a whole new builder. The builder is going to be different. It's going to have diversity. As you can see what he says, my player build diversity on the screen. When we think about it, small players can score in this game. They can dunk, get automatic contact dunks with the stick. I don't know why people, I seen Uncle Demi, or I seen somebody saying remove square dunking, X dunking, and allow players to only use a stick. It takes skill to use the stick or something. This is not something skillful. Just flicking up and down, that's not skillful at all. They have not made dunking skill. To make dunking skill would be for them to make you have to do a diagonal down, diagonal up, something like that would be some type of skill. But for them to just flick up and down, no. Little guards do that to bail themselves out all the time in this game. They're gonna have to go back to the roots, where if you are gonna get a dunk, gotta be a good lane. You're probably a playmaker slasher to where you don't have crazy shooting stats because you so strong. You put them all to your dunking stats. They have to go back to that type of lane. Yes, Ant can shoot and dunk and boof on somebody, but he's not boofing every play. So they have to find some way to balance it and put it into that range where it's okay, yeah, you're gonna get your dunks if you wide open. Contact dunks now, dunking on somebody when they're in the lane if they have a bigger body. So no, I don't. That shouldn't be real at all. It depends on scenario, and 2K has to kind of make that fit perfectly, but I feel like the balance is coming.
It's really important, and the dev team has been working hard to ensure that whether you have a short build, a tall build, or somewhere in between, that there are ways that you can be effective on the court. So when we get to the full 2K26 builder reveal, or when some of our creators have their hands on the builder later in the summer, you will hopefully notice some of the changes that are striving to hit that goal of build diversity. But that is it for my player for now.
Now, many of players, right, and I've seen it on Twitter, have said like taller builds are butt. And I can understand because I've always played on a taller build. Everybody always played 6'8", 6'7", 6. The 6'10" became new once certain people, it just became new. Once 2K allowed certain stats, that's when people started riding the wave. But nobody was making that tall of a build to try to dribble and score and play on like KD. I was the only first person doing that, right? Now, you won't see somebody doing that against no high skill competition. That's the same reason why people try to make fun of me on my YouTube shorts, the way I'm dribbling and stuff. They see people can't strip me. I play against all types of competition. I play the same way. Get the same stuff done. It's just a different play style, and I can play that way. You have to have skill to do that. Not everybody can do that. I know when the sweaties are going to try to blitz me, whether or not, if a person likes my dribbling or not, you understand? So it's just like, you have to, now I understand why they say, okay, it's not reliable to use because it may be slower. Maybe they can't cross over fast enough, or you get bumped up too much using a bigger build. To each his own. There's many of players that's better than others on 6'10s than others. So that's just how it is, right? So people weren't using bigger builds, and people's opinions on Twitter, it's basically like bigger builds was chopped. Everybody was using 6'4", 6'3s and under, like bigger builds, like to really compete or on some type of time. But I know there's some people that use bigger builds and still cook, whatever the case is. So I know that there was still diversity in this game. It was just too balanced. Like, shit has to be favorable. It was favorable back in the day when you were a guard. You were faster than others. It was like, it's certain stuff that just has to happen. Not saying that a guard ain't faster than the other players in this game, but no, it has to be a certain different range of, they got, y'all know what I'm talking about. They have to just get right and stop playing with us. But things that I want y'all to see, my player build diversity is highlighted, right? Let's keep going. Fresh play styles year round. Does this, I hope they're not gatekeeper moves. I hope this is not them saying, okay, we're going to gatekeep the moves and we gotta wait for certain good moves. I don't think it's gonna be like that. And if not, remember, they have pro play. That's supposed to be them implementing new moves. So they were supposed to go and get a whole bunch of newer NBA player moves and add them into this game on top of what they already had and change up everything, because we're not, of course it's a new game, so we're supposed to, a lot of stuff is supposed to be touched up, fresh and toned. You gotta think about that, y'all. Think about it. If you built like a big mall, right? Think about it. That's what 2K is. You built like a big mall and you got it designed a certain way, and you put so much time and detail into it 1 year. You think they can really just scratch from what they did this last year and just move on? They only can do that with certain things like shooting, like how they went back to green or miss. It's only like changing the builder up. But when it comes down to key details with movement, certain animation speeds, or how the animations looked, they only can fine touch and tune those things up to make them look a little bit different, a little bit better, a little bit smoother. But they're not really going to scratch all the coding, if you guys understand what I'm saying, from that. So we are still going to feel certain similarities. This is why they say in the end, when you hear them say this,
it's really important. And the dev team has been working hard to ensure that whether you have a short build, a tall build, or somewhere in between, that there are ways that you can be effective on the court. So when we get to the full 2K26 builder reveal, or when some of our creators have their hands on the builder later in the summer, you will hopefully notice some of the changes that are striving to hit that goal of build diversity.
You'll hopefully notice some of the changes. Changes means you just switching up something. See what I mean? Like he's saying, he's not saying like, oh, we'll notice changes. How are we going to notice something that's off of a new product? See, so you have to understand that 2K understands that as consumers, we should understand that as well. They're not going to say that, but we should understand that as well. So just like how 23 and 24 felt similar, very similar in certain ways, but it still felt different, we're going to get that same effect. Okay? And I keep saying this, 26 is going to be better. I don't care what nobody says. Y'all going to see me on the game because I know the game's going to be better. We dealt with the butt year this year. That's usually how 2K always go when they bounce back. All right. Better environment. That's all I needed to be on the game. I already like a basketball game. I already played this game. Not as much, but that's all I needed. A better environment. That's all we needed. Man, y'all drop that like. I can't wait for this game to drop. I'm done with 25. I can't wait. I'm not done with 25, but it's like I'm done with 25. I'm ready for 26. I'm ready. All right, y'all hit that like, subscribe.